the top, yeah. 45, get it, I'm hot. I'm burning the old scene, you should be calling the cops. I'ma get it, I'ma make it, I'ma do it anyway. I'ma get it, I'ma make it, I'ma do it anyway.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Varsity Podcast. It's your gents here, Kaigo. Catch up with Kaigo, and I'm back with my nigga Lawrence Mister. New to nuances, and we're back with another episode man 10.
Yeah, episode 10.
Yeah, we're back with episode 10, and we have a special guest today, Ndo himself, the magician, the man behind the camera, the goat with the camera, the art specialist, the masterpiece. He's a master in everything he touches, and today he'll be taking us through his world of fine arts and photography and everything he's working on. And yeah, man, we have really appreciated to have you on the show, dog. Shout out.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for hosting me in your podcast.
Yeah.
You know, coming here, I was a bit nervous.
Really?
But now you just like made things easier for me. People get to know But yeah, I was a bit nervous. For sure, this is actually like my first interview. My first podcast. Yeah.
Interview.
Yeah.
You've done any other interview?
I've been doing it for people. You remember there was this other podcast that we used to run,
like
things, yeah. So it was called, what was it called?
Podcast and Cheek.
No. Diggs Vibes. It was called Diggs Vibes. So I used to.
It
was Diggs Vibes. I used Diggs Vibes.
There was Abu Muzi.
And Boino. So yeah, that was me, or that was always behind. Behind the scenes and just putting things together and planning the content. So that was me. So now I'm actually sitting in front of the camera. You know? So
with the new kids in the block.
You know, behind the camera now.
Now it's actually, I need to explain the process of what. It's very important.
And you've been wanting us to do this episode.
I've been, guys.
We've been wanting him.
Since last year. Since last year.
The brother was like,
to be honest, since last year. Since I tried,
on a show where we were guest list.
You were our biggest dream. The one of us can land out.
You never landed him.
We never. Last year how the podcast went. I think we shot how many episodes? 3, no?
3, yeah.
3, and then that was it.
Approaching people.
Yeah, we weren't.
So now you're in episode 10 from
last year. The work hasn't been really as consistent as it should be, but episode 10 is not bad. It is bad for the duration that we've been in existence, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, we must first apologize again. Sorry, guys, for the period of not doing podcast. We had really Baring. The nigga here had some things to do. Same with I came late. Lee Lawrence, he came late. So that's the reason why we didn't shoot. So sorry, but now we are back on track, and we all know that we are currently on assessments, those things. But for sure, we'll make sure we keep consistency.
Facts. So with Ndoedanaa, dog, I don't know where to start this, but me personally, I'm really thrilled to have you here because I've always and I think I was in first year. We had like Jerusalem challenge photographer and shit. Seeing you taking the pictures that day, dog, I was like, shit.
I remember.
This is some dope shit. Yeah.
And that was actually like the first time that I got like my SLR camera. It was my first time because I was like, let me just like go outside and just try and take some pictures. Sure. Then along the way, the management, like student teams was like, may you please take us pictures? I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to see what was actually behind the process of just taking pictures. So now, like it actually boomed there. Like,
from
like,
there on
that was
beginning
long,
of it.
Yeah, that was.
So what's your favorite thing about this podcast? I mean, like about photography.
Photography. Nice. You know, it's a very interesting question about photography. Guys, since I actually started creating like sort of like, to me, a moving image, but now it's on it can be in a sort of like a paper, or it can be on digital.
Sure.
I feel like sometimes it's a connection. A photograph is like a connection of spirituality.
To be honest, that's facts.
Yeah, whenever you're taking a picture, sometimes you don't just take a picture. That's what I've learned. The moment where you actually like hear the shutter speed, say, it's. Emotion. I feel like it's it's like it's emotion. It's an emotion. It's a kind of feeling whereby you be like, as in, so this can't in capture. Because now the main purpose of it is it's about you capturing the moment, and then within the moment,
pictures tell a story.
Tell a story,
yeah, for sure.
And for sure,
I've seen your
pictures, for
for
sure, as you're saying, like it tells a story. What I usually get most of the time, I feel like I'm able to capture souls, as you're saying the story. Because now we can be talking right now at this moment, and then someone just comes and takes a picture while we're talking there. And then when that picture is out, someone is gonna ask, Kanti, what was happening in that picture? Then someone will be like, these people were having a podcast because now there was a mic there, and then there were books, there was a laptop, and they were just sitting like that. And probably maybe the camera was there. They were actually able to read that. They were actually able to read that because now that picture was captured through the storytelling that person saw. So yeah, I can say like that. I can explain the whole day about image creation, guys.
Like you're speaking wisdom into photography.
I want to know, like, so after you have taken these pictures, how do you approach editing them? Like,
to actually put on the emotion in the picture. Because I think that's the most crucial part.
It is.
That's where you put on the story, this picture.
Yeah, just to filter it or somehow just to change a little bit of light. So I mean, most of the time, whenever I'm using a Canon DSLR 2000D, which I most of the time whenever I'm taking pictures, I use a manual. Whereby I am able to adjust. I don't do automatic because now if I do automatic, maybe the flash just bumps up. So I decide to actually take my pictures with manual, and especially I love taking pictures in a good environment where there's like a good lighting. Because lighting is very important, so that it makes. Because sometimes if you take pictures on a bad like lighting, sometimes it's very hard to actually edit those pictures. Because if maybe, for an example, we take a picture in this afternoon, maybe when it's towards to be dark, and then somehow maybe we take like a series of pictures, and then sing editing in one. Sometimes I feel like some of the pictures, they're noisy. Whenever you just like trying to enhance them or something, they become noisy. They don't become smooth the way you actually want them. So I'm that kind of a person that's very, very conscious when it comes to those small. Because photography matters in all of its aspects. It does matter. So and then from lab for sure I was just explaining the part of my camera. So
honestly, question relative to that, you know.
Okay, let me just finish this question that God was asking me. So once I'm done taking pictures, I use Lightroom. Adobe Lightroom. Adobe Lightroom. So it actually makes everything more easier because most of the time I like shooting in RAW, which is actually large files. So whenever I actually import it in the Lightroom Adobe software, it's able to it's when I'm done editing it, I'm able to convert it into a JPEG. So it's more easier than Photoshop. Photoshop, I feel like you use Photoshop maybe somehow if you want to edit maybe 2 or 3 pictures, or somehow you want to stylish, or you want to somehow like put effects on the picture, remove the background. I feel like Lightroom is more easier. If maybe I can go to a wedding shoot and then I take maybe 250 pictures.
So you can apply one filter
to all of them, and then
you can create your own like preset.
Something like that. It's dope.
So what's the hardest thing about it?
The hardest thing about is
editing is hard.
No, editing is easy. Honestly
Editing the pictures might be shit.
No. Honestly speaking,
you used to say it takes time to edit.
than take pictures. Yeah, it's true.
Honestly speaking, it takes time, but now obviously and we are passion most of the time.
For sure.
Like it becomes easy. But the hardest thing is paying the subscription of Lightroom.
So just get this thing and get into PC, Tony Pirate file.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm not away.
But don't do that at home.
Don't try that at home.
Don't do that.
So yeah, but you're right, man. When people want to get their shit done, bro, like you
go
do
to
anything.
all the limits.
Yeah, you go to all the limits, and
facts.
at the end, it's you accomplishing that particular
So
task.
before I forget the question, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
So the question was like, what matters the most? We will start with the video, before we go to pictures. What matters the most between the content and the picture emotion? Like the filter or whatever. You get my question?
The editing.
So
editing.
Well, actually, okay, let me just try.
Between the picture and the editing.
No.
The content and what?
And
the picture in motion.
The picture in motion. Yeah,
So what the picture means and how the picture is.
How the picture is.
So what matters most between the two?
What matters most between
The
how
meaning
the
of the
picture is
and the meaning of the picture.
and the content.
The content is the meaning of the picture.
Yeah, we're starting with the video and then we go to the picture. Yeah, you'll answer call video, then you answer the picture.
Okay, if I might put it this way, if you want to ask Kukuti Kona, if maybe I'm taking a content, using a format of a video, what does it actually matter on it and what does not matter on it? Alright, so on a video most of the time, right now, we're doing a podcast, and what's mattering in this podcast is the content.
Yes, sir.
And then now the video itself, as you saw, as I actually came in here, you guys were actually looking at the presets and blah blah and so on. I feel like both of these things, whenever they are actually combined most of the time, that aesthetics that you get when you're done with everything. Now you get to actually sit alone and just watch the video and be like, okay, cool. These people were doing a podcast. That was their content. Who was in the podcast? Ndoedanaa, Lawrence, Kaigo, Neo. And then now, I feel like most of the time, if you guys are content creators, for sure in the outline, obvious. Outline of okay, this is episode 10, this is episode 10. And then and then now they get to understand okay, I want the aesthetics about it's this and this. Because last time I remember when you did your setting here, guys, I really love the setting. I was like, oh, okay, this is a podcast. So
the setting was fire.
The setting was fire. I don't want to lie. The setting was actually fire. And then when it comes to the picture, the picture, guys, it's the same thing as like going to an art gallery or any exhibition.
Okay, so Rene, with the picture, is it the quality of the picture or the person in the picture?
Wow, that's very important. So with the picture, for sure, things that we see are always clear and so on. So when as a camera person, whenever you're taking that picture, you're using your own eye. It's sort of like drawing with your with lights. Photography is like drawing with light. So the question on Buzayona, it's you using your the way you perceive something to now represent it in a way that people can see it. So what I mean, I'm looking at this angle, I'm looking at that angle. And then can you actually see where the camera is actually positioned? And then when I'm like, okay, I can see it. Is it clear? It's clear.
But we're not able to do that.
But now, it's clear. But now, bad quality picture. So the bad quality of the picture, it does also matter, because now it's gonna give someone else a wrong perception. Because now you'll be telling them, can you see this? There's actually a difference. So it matters most of the time. Equality, it matters.
So you're saying what matters the most is the quality, not the person.
They both matter.
I feel like the quality matters, because now for you to see the person, the quality needs to be good. For sure. Yeah, it needs to be good.
Yeah,
Find it appealing.
they made it.
Because now, if Kenze would there's someone taking a picture there, and then now there's no focus here, but the focus is on the table.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Because now we are the subjects. We are the subjects. So that's very important.
We need to be in frame.
Yeah, we are the subjects. Okay, it's very hot here.
I like the way you answer those questions. Like you know how to answer questions. Talking about being hot, bruv. Like what are you cooking?
In terms of what? In terms of
In terms of what we are talking about right now.
Yeah, I want to know, like, how do you manage to create your own style in photography?
my own style.
Your own style, yeah, since you need.
Finding a
Because
niche.
your picks
Your
are
photographer unique.
Yes, different.
Oh wow, that's a very beautiful. That's a very beautiful.
Appreciable.
That's a very beautiful question to ask.
Yeah.
Most of the time, guys, we do things because other people do them. I'm saying do things from inspiration.
Facts.
So most of the time, I'm a person that actually loves watching movies. I love watching YouTube channels. I love actually to be in my Instagram, looking at artists and so on and so on. So with all of that information gathered in my mind, somehow there might be a small thing maybe sitting there, and then out of that thing, it becomes ideas of information that I've actually gathered. For example, okay, I know you're gonna showcase my work. Please showcase my work.
I should, yeah.
So, on my Instagram account, I created.
What's your Instagram account again?
My Instagram account, yeah, it's Ndoedanaa. Yeah, it's
Ndoedanaa.
Okay, let's do like this. So, in my page, I've got one of my works. So in those one of my works, I'm actually talking about aesthetics of being an African, sort of mixing it with royalties. So I created a body of work whereby there's crowns. For sure, maybe you've seen the work.
I think I have.
Yeah. So I created 3 crowns. So I had 2 models, which 2 of these models were females, and then 1 was me. So the one, that one, I'm not gonna speak about it right now. It's a secret.
Secret.
Yeah, it's a secret right now. It's still on process. It's still on process. Because most of the time, I cannot actually reveal work that I'm in process. I'm still in processing. So with that work, I was inspired by Woman King. No, not Woman King. No, Woman King. Black is King.
Who's that?
Beyonce's album 2020.
What
year was that? I was fascinated by visuals. Most of the time, okay, I'm that kind of a person which sometimes I'm a very visual person. Whenever I look something, I somehow perceive it in my own way. So for me to create those crowns, they were actually an inspiration from the visual that I saw there. So in my crowns, I made those crowns out of newspaper, wire, and some other papers and canvases,
Yeah, you're just fucking creative.
To actually make that aesthetics.
It was in
And you even wore it.
I even wore it one time.
Yeah, so if you can, if looking at that kind of work, that's the uniqueness of my work most of the time. I like working in that kind of style. Also, not to forget about our culture, our African culture, knowing which obviously sometimes in art, sometimes in art, sometimes in art you lose yourself because now there's this thing called the Western art. The Western art somehow fabricates our minds, and then somehow we start to blend things, and then somehow when things are blended, you can tell over time, man, there's not that aesthetics of the context of Africa. So in my work, most of the time, I like to actually incorporate African materials most of the time.
Yeah, I've seen
that's the work that I will actually describe for now. But there's work that I'm actually still working on.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself working on a film or something?
Film.
Yeah.
Okay. to actually forgot to mention, I'm also an actor, guys. Ne? I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I've done some short films. Ne?
Yeah.
And I'm also now. Maybe you've saw some of my films.
I have.
Yeah, I remember you on Instagram too. Guys, Instagram.
His Instagram is his world.
Instagram
It's
is
like
my
his
world.
gallery.
I don't wanna lie, but now I need but now, honestly speaking, I need to move out from that space. I need now people to actually engage with the work in person. Because right now I'm speaking about the work. There's not that sense of connectivity, you know. So yeah. So
it's in the abstract.
As Lawrence am I actually working on any film or something? Or do I see myself?
Do you see yourself working on a film?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanna like honestly speaking, like my photography can also be what can I call it? Pictures are okay, you can make a video from pictures. So I don't want my picture sometimes to actually be on the wall and just look at people like just like that. I feel like my picture can somehow have movement whereby it actually the motion is actually now inviting people to actually not just think of it as pictures but as a film. So recently I'm not working on any film, but soon I'm starting to actually I'll be starting to create crafts that are actually going to actually make a sort of like a narration film.
Sure.
Yeah, that is somehow going to state about like the aesthetics of being like an African, because that's very powerful for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I'm not gonna say now which I'm gonna actually create work and then I'm gonna release it when it's just the process.
So what inspired your work, man? Like what inspired Ndoedanaa to be what he is?
Oh, honestly speaking, what inspired Ndoedanaa to be Ndoedanaa? First thing and most thing is the name Ndoedanaa is very important.
Yeah.
Kamala Ndoedanaa. Yabona mangithi Kamala Ndoedanaa. Ngizizwa amandla manje.
Yeah.
So this name, I feel like this name is sort of like it's sort of like his name. You're right. It's very important. This name is sort of like I was actually given by my ancestors. But now obviously but now obviously in a way like it was from my ancestors. So Lelo Kamalelo gave me that ability to bet myself in the art world.
Yeah.
Now to see Ndoedanaa in versions of fashion, to see Ndoedanaa in versions of photography, to see Ndoedanaa in versions of film. Like
you're branching.
Like you see, I am. Because now I'm like this. Because we started from this and then now I'm like this. So I started from there and then now I started doing some internships. So I feel like along my time while I was doing internships, so I was a graphic designer, which was in 2018. So by that time, I worked for a lady called Angie, and she's a graphic designer.
Sure.
So Angie, she was very influential. She was very influential to me in a way that I ended up seeing fine arts calling me. I ended up seeing fine arts calling me in a way that now. Alright guys,
this is my cousin.
Guys, this is me signing in, Beyonce.
Shout out.
Sorry, you guys are loved, every time whenever you do these things, they go. But I feel like you guys.
That's the energy.
Yeah, that's the energy. That's what's needed most of the time. But it shows with the watch your channel. Where was I? Thank you,
fine art.
Oh, I was talking about no. I think I was talking about my
being
I need Ndoedanaa.
Ndoedanaa. Okay, I was starting to actually tap into the faces whereby now Ndoedanaa became a fine artist.
Snoopy's doing assignments.
No, I'm not doing assignments.
I saw, that means yes, Bulls, we should share my conclusion.
No, that conclusion was on Ndoedanaa. Ndoedanaa is a person like this.
Not really,
No, I was just checking out.
Not really.
But yeah.
I love the vibes. I love the vibes.
Sure.
So, as I was actually explaining, okay, Ndoedanaa now re-emerged from internship. I was actually doing an internship 2018.
Yeah.
So there was this lady called Angie Musin. Yeah, Musin. She's a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And to find out, she was very hard on me, honestly speaking. As a muntu hard on you, sometimes in a way, I was a lazy boy. When it comes to graphic designs and so on and completing the work, I was so very lazy. Sometimes being out late on savings.
Sure.
Sometimes you'll just make meetings out of nowhere, and she will just call me aside and she'll be like, "Yo, my guy, do you want to do this job or what?" I'm like, "I want to do this job." Yeah. Sometimes I used to cry because she used to actually make me cry. In a way, there was a time whereby she asked me, "What are you passionate about in life?" And I was like, "What is it?" I didn't even know about the passion.
Yeah.
What passion means. Because now you're from the hood.
Yeah, mara vele makhulu ntakhona magama
ndoto. So now she said to me, like, "What are you passionate at?" I was like, "What do you mean now?" Utanda, okay, there was this other guy that I used to work. He's black. He's like to me, "But Utanda, yo, I was very clueless. Like nakhona nomjida ukhona umnyama uzoyasho ukuthi ngithanda. I was very clueless. I was like, ngithanda ukudraw. Yeah, kanjani ngithanda ukudraw. And from lap he's like lo mjida lo mnyama, he's like, "Okay, Angie, Ndoedanaa says he loves to draw." And then Angie was like, "Okay, take like a bunch of piece of papers and start drawing now. I want to see 50 drawings right now. 50 drawings right now." The whole day I spent my time doing works, doing like having like a reference, maybe a book, take a book and just draw it out of nowhere. And then some were just thoughts that I was just drawing on the paper. And then at the end of the day, she asked me, she's like, "How was it like?" I was like, it felt good because now I did not actually want to actually let go. I wanted to continue because the span being shayisa ngo 5. So now u5 seshayile ngisadraw. Uyazibuza lo muntu na ukuthi hayi usadraw kanjani isikhathi sokushayisa sesipikile. And from lapho ke I feel like that's the way I started to go and do my research at home. Start to ask ukuthi okay, drawing ihamba nani ku arts, So I was like, okay, cool. This is on my own. And then I came across with the name Fine Arts. Fine arts, it just like made everything very, very clear to me. Visual arts. That's what other people call it. And from Lapo game, she was like, "My guy, I think you should apply and study fine arts." And I was like, okay, because now I know about it. Fine. And then I applied to Varsity, and then they required like a portfolio. From that portfolio process, guys, I feel like that was one of the hardest times in my life ever.
Really?
Like, bengalali, because now I used to
and
actually...
the portfolio may be perfect.
The portfolio needs to be perfect. And now Kulmanga Vets, like one of the best like universities like Africa. So your thing needs to be top notch. So I used to not sleep. Sometimes even I'm a
the high school
like he... I want to manage a gym, man. I got a good body. So yeah, I think it's like, I was like, what's happening? And then I submit kanjalo. Anything 2019. 2019 They called me and then they were like, yeah, we want you for an interview now. Yo, ngithwile ngimanzi amakhopha amanzi. Angithi ngiyafika ngithola akuhleza abalungu nje. Yabona nje ukuhleza abalungu phela and isingisi nakhona asikho. Angithi ngisahlezi kanje khona uyiwana ongibheke serious yambona ukuthi ugqoka nama specs. Yabona laba abantu abagqoka ama specs yambona ukuthi lona. Yeah, and then from lapho ke they said come in, calm down, blah blah and so on. Then I just took them to my artworks, blah blah and so on. Then okay, cool, fine. Siyabonga sizocontact. Do not call us, we will call you. It was like that. Ngahamba ngaya endlini and then a couple of weeks they called me now. They were like, you are now accepted as one of like the students in our fine arts department. And I was like, oh my god, what? I was like, what? I was like, yo, shit, like my first time. So yeah, so that's where actually everything actually started. Is like Ndoedanaa, and now I actually embraced it. And I'm still embracing it. I'm around cool people like you guys. So gisakula. So yeah.
How has it been though doing fine arts and now doing your masters in fine arts? That's some crazy shit, man. You can't be doing masters in a specific field. You have to be passionate about that shit.
No more like my Chinese. My master. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Honestly speaking, I started this year.
This nigga is old, guys.
No manga, guys. No manga. Okay. I'm not old. I'm Ngulile. I'm not old. I'm happy yeah.
But he's young, though, and he's doing masters.
You can tell, like a young person like me. I'm an open book. Yes, I'm an open book, like a young person like me. So yeah, I'm doing my masters. This is actually my first year.
Masters.
Yeah, masters in fine arts. So my degree, my honors degree in VET was 4 years.
What?
Yeah, it was 4 years. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking other shit. You know?
Yeah. So my degree was actually 4 years. So I actually walked the stage this year. You get what I'm saying? I walked the stage this year, and Shugutsing I this year masters yami.
Sure.
And so far, masters yami. To be honest, it's Yakala. I don't wanna lie. It's Yakala. Like you are on your own. Like I wanna lecture. You have a supervisor. Like you got to put like your schedule together. You got to plan like your content. Like we won most of the time. You know, I'm always alone because now you don't get it. It's a push. Yeah, increasing push because now it's a different phase whereby you're a normal student now. It's sort of like you're a normal student.
Sure.
Now sometimes I'm
independent researcher.
I mean independent but yeah, you're right. I'm a father to my work because the work that I'm researching is like I need to nurture it. So being in the okay, let me just talk about being an artist, a visual artist in general. Okay, the bad side of it is sometimes it's bad when it comes from maybe if your parents do not actually understand how really you actually want to be an artist. They don't somehow understand that.
Especially coming from a black family.
Because something.
Basically.
But now I'm going to Oshaya studying Zora, not a art school. How was that for your family? How did they take it?
Until they see you.
Honestly speaking, from my family side, my mom, like, okay, my mother and my father, okay, most of the time, my mom plays Anan, okay.
Yeah.
They were very okay with it.
Really?
Like they were very okay with it. They were very supportive, especially nakona mawuthi kona sufunde vets.
Yeah,
that's so
like
true.
okay.
Mama Kintana is always.
You know
there.
my mother. You know her. So my mom, she's a supporter.
Shout out to Mamando.
Yeah, she's a supporter. And whenever, most of the time, is being an artist. Sometimes you're struggling. Sometimes you actually get some help from your family. Sure. Exhibition. Then they'll be like, okay, so ufuna ukwenza exhibition, ufuna malini, ufuna success ngamali. I'm like, okay, this is the amount of money that I actually need. And then from Lapo, boom, my old lady is just like easy. Oh, what's up?
No, talk. I'm listening. Talk. Yes.
Wait, it's stopping. Oh, it's alright. No, I feel like he is fine. Alright, my love. So yeah, my old lady she's always been there, all in out in there too, and yeah, that's the support. But obviously, the matter is now with manje. Abanye abazali, they are not always supportive when it comes to your own interest in life, your own state of peace. Maybe you just want to be something outside of the system, and then they don't want you to actually be that thing, because now you should be in the system, which is sometimes not a good thing. Because my system, most of the time, you're always in the box. Yeah, you're always in the box. Like yonki into ikabanga is a boxing.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
You know me, talk. I'm like there, talk. You know me. Like your son. You're kumbula lokana katsini event that art museum.
Yeah.
It's art museum.
Oh shit.
That's the same story.
I wanted to have kind of these friends, but I was like, yeah, it does.
So you felt like you were stuck in the system
when I was. But Shuguti, I had last year. It's called what? What is it called, by the way? It's called nuances. It's called nuances. It was called nuances 2022.
Yeah.
So like we were asked to actually present like bodies of artworks in that space. So I actually produced artwork whereby I was performing. I was in a bicycle, so I was just cycling there, like cycling like nobody's business. Cause now it's this thing of manje, like the system is like a circle. You wake up every day 9 to 5. Wake up every day 9 to 5, like until you go. So I was actually in that bicycle. I'm sure. But I'm frustrated. What's happening?
That's dope, bro.
So like I feel like Leon Tole is very important.
Bro. But changing direction, mara winda like just ilibele chiki bicycle mara inda.
So would you, let's say for instance, someone who's in matric now and they don't really know what to do coming to varsity, and let's say for example, umuntu apply like a brother or an uncle, wherever they are, and then as to apply like fine arts. Would you say it would be easy for them to do fine arts, not as a passion, but as something that they just found themselves there? Let's say if it's Mtata and then they don't have any other option. Would they do it without being passionate about it, or it's something you can do without passion?
So most of the time, what I've seen with students, that's a good question. They do not know how to make these kind of decisions, because now is this name called vets. Once you hear name vets, or once you hear name UJ, you and then from Lapo you starting talking now if like a brother just applies for a metric land, and then they apply fine arts. Leso student leso uzoqala ukustudy mase qala ukustudy kanjalo a long time, that he or she will actually discover ukuthi lento ayenzayo she likes it or he does not like it. So ngokuya ngesikhathi, I feel like lento kanjani ngokuya ngesikhathi umuntu uvesena a decide. I feel like isikhathi most of the time siyakunikeza lelo thuku ukuthi manje usicabangisise kahle ukuthi ngempela vele into engifuna ukuyenza leyo nto yabona. So I feel like in that kind of a scenario, I feel like our guardians and our parents and our siblings, I feel like they should actually have those conversations with us.
I was about to.
The next day out of nowhere, when you'll be studying law.
But you don't even know what I like.
Yeah, that's the
thing. But at times it's not a thing of Baba Boto, this is what you should study. Sometimes it's a thing of your brother is doing it for you, you know. And me as a student, and they don't really allow me to be in that particular field. So at times you find with Grotman like I don't am thinking if I can know no, it's a vet or it's a UJ, you know. So it's all about establishing communication from early on, or as a family. To qualify for something like this, you have to have, you know, marks like this. So it's all about communication from the onset before really getting into the higher education system.
And then you wanted to say something? No. like I've seen with market matriculate and
sure.
Sometimes you will see we are before okay manje ngithole i-bachelor's okay mangithole i-bachelor's which
sure.
This podcast is so fun, eh? But there's a lot
like
that's happening.
I remember one of the commenters, Tifo Musai, our nigga, for sure.
Yeah.
The nigga was like, I wanna, even those distractions,
They are good. They're good distractions.
Yeah, because the man could imagine.
Content, because whatever is happening, it was supposed to happen.
Because the man could is like, you know what about that, and bang is with the and then imagine then you have to give like, yeah, what's happening?
Sure.
So I was actually talking about the maths team. If you got to matriculate, sometimes you actually look at yourself bachelor. And most of the time you look at your marks. I can apply. Because now you can I can apply for anything. So look apply it's not the thing that you want to do. Like back on university because of now they were looking their marks, so it's okay. Cool, okay, marketing shy PR, that means AP score is like this. That means I can apply.
It doesn't look like that, though.
There are rules.
Basically, I maybe reject UG.
And most of the time it does.
But yeah, I think, opportunities in like fine arts, yeah. Okay. That's actually my question. Ghost man there. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, Shay, this guy is taking shots at me. But yeah, it's a big.
We're not rhetoric ghost man.
Rhetoric ghost man.
We are inspired by you, but rhetoric ghost man.
Sure.
But it's all about spreading the culture.
Facts.
So yeah, the opportunities in the art field. In the art field, especially, I feel like sometimes it differs with where you at. Yeah, like in South Africa most of the time, I feel like arts, they don't actually take art that serious.
To be honest.
Yeah, like
as much as you as do.
Yeah, a photographer, and then we are shoot. It's ngiyashoot umuntu akhona icela ngishoot isithombe bese ngimshoot bese ngicela ngicela ungisendele what do you mean
bro
it's a transaction so ama opportunities ongathola okay, let me just say fine arts, you can be a curator. Most of the time, I'm a gallery. They actually need like curators, you know. For example, Nelson Makoma is a fine art artist. So if maybe he's actually he's about to host an exhibition, they need those kind of people whereby they will actually plan his work. We've got the art dealers. The art dealers, art dealers is people that actually sell art, especially if you know your marketing, you know the kind of art that is actually can be bought and not be bought, you know. Somehow I feel like those people they sometimes make the artists suffocate, because now they can ask you to actually create like bodies of work, and then they will create maybe 50 of bodies of work. You did not do any sale, or maybe you can do a sale, but that money, some of the money might go to him, and then we're not actually
they take art from artists and they sell them.
That's how they actually live, young Sure. And then we have independent artists. Whereby I spoke about art dealers, you know.
Yeah.
So for young people that are actually out there, for you to actually see yourself in the space where now you're seen by the public, you have to actually start by small steps. For sure, you can actually create your own exhibition. at your own place, at any particular place, it works. As long as people are gonna come,
Yes.
And for sure, as an artist, you are a person that actually likes to speak about people about your work. Just imagine if now you yourself have laid down the work and people just come and interact the work instead of you speaking about the work, because there's two differences of you speaking about the work and people actually engaging about the work. So you can actually create your own exhibition anyway. Yeah, even on social media, okay, you can, but now again on social media, the work is not physical. I feel like the work becomes more interesting when it's actually physical.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would actually say about the art world in the business side. So yeah.
That's great.
That's dope to hear, man. And with all that you've said, I think many people can take a lot from what you know and what to focus on when working with the art, and they can bring in more people in the fine art world, which I think it's a relatively known field, Only few people know about that, especially kids in high school, as we were talking about kids in high school, not knowing it Mabafika school and Bafungenza. So you raising awareness and teaching us about that, I think anyone who's at home or a high school student who's watching this is getting the motivation to go, damn, I can start my own exhibition.
I can also do this.
You know what I mean?
I can also do a master.
And honestly speaking,
those are already doing.
And honestly speaking, it's not always late to do something. Yeah, I'm not actually just saying to the youth generation, even to the grown generation, that have actually missed the opportunity to actually show the world what they actually are capable of. It's not yet late. So it's not yet late.
Okay.
Anyone.
So to close it off, I think the last question I'd have for you is, what's ahead for you, and what do you think you'd be working on in future, and how can people get your work and everything?
Okay, so when it comes to your question that you just raised right now about what am I planning to work on, okay, right now it's still in the process. If that process is done, for sure there will be some trailers to actually show it, okay, this is what I've been working on, and people are gonna actually get to see. And then when it comes to the space that I'm at right now, I'm in a space whereby I wanna actually teach the arts, especially. So my concept is actually around self-development and self-discovery through arts, because I feel like most of the time in the communities that we come from, life is so quick in a way. We make decisions so fast. So I feel like I could be that process during that decision time, whereby in that space that I'm in, I'm able to influence people, especially with arts. You have visual arts. If you come with a painting in the hood and then you just call people together, people will wonder what's this and how did you do it? Someone will be like, can I please do it? You see, if someone is saying, can I please do it? Give them a try. Then if it happens you're doing music and then you actually call people and say, guys, can you come and listen to my music? And then for sure be like, oh wow, I can do this, but now how do I do it? And then, so I just want to create that ground, especially like starting from my hood. And I just want to take it as sort of like a diaspora thing, especially black people. Most of the time we're always afraid what we are actually capable of doing,
and teachings are necessary.
Teachings and so on, and also this education will also help parents to implement how to raise their children, because it's very important for child development, in such instance. So the future is actually bright, even though I'm not wearing glasses. But it's bright.
Shout out.
So
That's a bar.
Yeah, you should take it.
I wanted to ask you something from what you just said. Like, how can one be able to do or take decisions fast in such situations?
Or in such situations, if they are actually frustrated and do not know what to actually do or to actually what step to actually take, I feel like sometimes it's a good thing to actually take things in a slow procedure. Sometimes it's good to actually experience some other things you've never experienced. Who knows? Somehow you might actually be attached to that thing and end up being there. I feel like most of the time decisions are actually somehow not. They shouldn't actually be made by anyone, but by you,
by yourself,
interacting in the spaces. Sometimes you, for sure, like you can actually go for event, a concert event, and then you see yourself as an artist, and then from there in the spot you decide, okay, cool, this is what I want to do, and I am capable of doing it. So I feel like that kind of step, it's actually the it's part of the process for you to actually like come up with a decision, because it's like school most of the time. It's just thoughts. It's not is thoughts of someone. It's not there physically. So now it's like you going in that space and finding out yourself what
I get you.
So yeah.
Shout out. Talking about this lane, have you ever felt like, now I can't do this anymore? Like,
We need to
it's hard handling art, doing art. I
Oh.
feel like it now.
You see, most of the time, it does. Any with human beings, we age. One thing about aging, sometimes not sometimes. There is a time whereby everything has to actually change and stop. So for me, it's not gonna stop. But my education to the black people, the memories that I've been actually sharing to people, that is not going to stop. So with me continuing and sustaining art knowledge, I'll actually continue to actually educate people about art, preserving its culture, because that's one thing that's very important. If that thing fades away, that line is gonna be broken just like that. So
Shout out, man. It was lovely having you today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, and the lessons, and we know something about art now, at least.
I'll rewatch it again.
They watch it.
So we appreciate you pulling through and us shooting this episode. And man, shout out to you. And if you want to know more about Ndoedanaa, you can go in his Instagram. As you can see his Instagram handle
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
And it's crazy.
No, he's not gonna put it.
I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it
Right there.
He knows,
So,
he knows how the magic is done.
Exactly, dog. So the Instagram is there. Shout out to him. Follow him on Insta, see his work. And if you're inspired, man, just hit him with a DM, man. I think he'll reply to you.
Man, I know I'm so very handsome.
Yeah, he's a very handsome, man.
Just talk to me about your ideas.
And if you are a modeler, you like to learn more, he's the best guy because
Shout out.
I am the seed.
Shout out to
I'm the fruit, right?
Shout out.
Beautiful fruit. Beautiful.
Shout out. That's good, man. So man, thank you for watching and getting this far. We are looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. We'll be having a bunch of girls shooting one dope episode where we'll be discussing mental health, sex,
And everything.
and sex.
And more sex.
And more sex. Yeah.
Congratulations. What does that mean?
No. What? Everyone.
Say it loud.
Say it out loud.
Okay, finish up. Okay, then we'll say it.
Okay, shout out for you to getting this far and watch the episode, and please wait for the following episode, and as we'll be posting more consistently. Now we'll try by all means to post more consistently. And thank you so much for watching the episode. Shout out. Bow. What's up, cuz?
On this shit, so I pick a pen, then I rip on my beads. Hey, I just fuck around the blow like a dynamite.
Off of the top, 45, get it, I'm high.